Hi, I'm Andy Burton, Burton Power, Sales Director. So our relationship with Quaife goes back sort of way before my time. I would imagine late 70s, early 80s. And it's a natural progression that back in the 70s we were building a number of performance engines. Those performance engines therefore will require upgraded gearboxes and transmission parts, which makes Quaife the ideal candidate to supply such components. Well, the company was started by my granddad back in '63, where he saw there was a market for dynamic engine balancing. So he left the VW specialist place he was working and decided to create his own company here on this very site. He bought some very specialist machines for doing dynamic engine balancing, of which there were only a couple, 2 or 3 in the country at the time. So people who were local used to have to send their crankshafts and so on up to places like Birmingham or Coventry. So soon he built himself quite a comprehensive machine shop, and a lot of the engine tuners started bringing all their work to the company. Off the back of that, once all the engine parts are machined, then people were asking for the spares. So therefore we started supplying all things like the engine gaskets, the bearings, the pistons and so on. That's pretty much how the company started. Well, so continuing on from the machining side of it, eventually we got enough demand on the spares that we opened a shop a few miles away in Hainault purely to do all the spares whilst the machine shop remained separate. That then got bigger, and eventually there were a few shops became available on this very site, and they were gradually bought up until like today we've got the whole parade. The spares has basically gone from strength to strength. So from your typical engine parts, it's then gone into other aspects of the car, such as your braking, your suspension, your transmission and so on. And we got a very big demand from customers, not only just people who are trying to keep cars on the road, but also enthusiasts who are racing cars as well. So we originally started by, we didn't really specialise, we worked on whatever sort of models would come through the door. So Fords would obviously be very popular, being located in Essex and only about 20 minutes away from Dagenham, but also anything BMC, like all your Minis, and all the other sort of British brands that are out there at the time. That sort of continued until sort of the mid to late 70s, where we made a conscious decision just to specialise in the Ford market, which has brought us to where we are today really. You know, we are known as a Ford specialist, and our range is obviously very comprehensive. So we've always been associated with a lot of motorsport and competitive drivers, and we've backed many drivers over the years, famously people like Barry Lee, Trevor Hopkins and so on. But in the last sort of 15 years, we struck up a relationship with MSV, who own a number of the major circuits, such as Brands Hatch, where we've been doing our own track days with them since about 2013, I believe. In 2018, we approached MSV about starting up a budget series, which MSV went for. So in 2019, we had the maiden season of Enduro-Car, which is endurance racing of the Mark 1 4KAs, for which we supply all the control parts for. Today, we're in our 7th season, and the series is going from strength to strength. We've continued to trade with Quaife over the last 40, 50 years because they are a premier supplier of transmission components, and we know we can trust and rely on their components. And it's pretty much just a case of once the components are with the customer, you very rarely hear back from them. So they're pretty much a fit and forget part that does the job they're supposed to do. So this is Andy from Burton Power. If you need any Ford based parts, particularly on the Quaife side, give us a call and our staff will be happy to help you.